You wanna know something about me? I love roguelikes.
Reckless! Fucking...
Roguelites as a genre are, to me, in the top 3. Right up there with porn and action games. It's such an adaptive genre. Almost any kind of game can be turned into a roguelite. The genre is so complex and so flexible. But every time I think of roguelites, one game always instantly comes to mind.
What the fuck?
The Binding of Isaac is my favorite roguelike game of all time. This is a game I have purchased 3 separate times for full price. One of those was the iOS version on an iPhone 7. I fell in love with this game on an iPhone 7. It's ridiculous. You wanna know how it felt like? This. But why am I saying all this? To just usher in the fact that this game has stood the test of time for me. How? Let's get into it. When you boot up Isaac, you are presented with a very short story, which goes as follows. Isaac and his mother lived alone in a small house. Isaac spent his time playing with toys and drawing pictures, and his mother spent her time watching Christian television, until she heard a voice from above claiming to be God and saying that Isaac has been corrupted by sin. Because of this, she strips away all of Isaac's belongings from him to make sure his soul is pure. But the voice commands more. So, she locks Isaac in his room, until the voice commands her to kill Isaac. She agrees, grabbing a large knife. Isaac, seeing this through a crack in his door, begins frantically searching around his room for any way to escape, until he checks under his rug to find a trap door that leads into the basement. And right as his mother bursts into the room, he jumps in. And so, the game begins. Just gotta... There we go. The controls of Isaac are rather simple. You can move around, you can place down bombs, shoot enemies with your tears, and it's all... What? Yes. He does in fact cry enemies to death. I gotta get this out of the way so you're not too confused, because it's about to get way more confusing, don't worry. And with all this basic knowledge out of the way, we can start exploring the basement. Most of the things that inhabit the basement are hostile, and while exploring you will find many varieties of rooms, varying in size and contents. On almost every floor of the basement there will be a item room containing... You'll never believe this. The variety of items you can receive vary between active and passive items. Passive items are, as the name implies, passive. You don't really have to do anything and they'll always be active. While active items are stored in the top left and you can only hold one at a time, but can be activated on command to do a variety of things. You also have shops where you can spend your coins to obtain items and or consumables. You have curse rooms which vary in quality and also cost health to go into and leave, so be mindful of that. And finally, you have the boss room. The boss room is... you'll never guess what's going. Basically, you fight a boss, and then after which you get a guaranteed item that's a stat up, and it allows you to progress to the next floor. That's the basic gameplay loop. As you progress through the basement, though, it slowly gets darker and far harder. I mean, like, look at Monstro 1. Look at this guy. Yeah, he's kind of cute, a little dopey. Okay, now let's look at Monstro 2. Oh my fucking god. You continue like this until you come face to face with Mom. Mom is a massive behemoth. She's so large that she can't even fit in the room you're in and is sort of picking and prodding from the outside to get you. But with perfect focus and also this broken ass first run build, I don't know why it's so good, you can finally defeat her. And it shows that Isaac was cornered, about to be murdered, and as he accepts his fate, an angel from above comes down and saves him. And that's it, the game's over. Look at the video, like, motherfucker, we are not close to being done. With this completion, the game expands. Most importantly in length, adding 2 more floors to the basement. It also gives you the speed challenge and... no, just stop. Calm down. Something you might have known if you're a, sick Bible head like me, is that this story mirrors the actual story of Isaac in the Bible. What was the story called again? You gotta be fucking kidding. Well, the difference in these 2 stories is that, well, instead of Mom, it's Abraham, and instead of being stricken down, the angel comes down and says, yo, maybe don't kill your son, just offer us a ram instead. So the story is mirroring other events, but not exactly. That might be important later. Ooh, I don't know. After which, you begin your second run, with a new goal in mind. Seeing what's past Mom. So, you make your way through. All the way to the womb. The womb is a very special place. That's going to be taken out of context so fucking hard. The womb, unlike other floors, lacks shops and item rooms. But, to make up for this, it's fucking massive, I tell ya. It is unreasonably big. The womb also contains a lot more flesh and bone based enemies. This all culminates in you fighting Mom's Heart. Mom's Heart is your new final boss. It used to be Mom, but now it's her heart, so it's kind of like going down the totem pole, but it's slightly harder. Mainly because she has immune phases and also spawns in like 1,000,000 bullets. But with enough dedication, you can beat it. You did it. You beat the games like 3%. Because now you have to do that 10 more times. I'm not even joking, you have to do it 10 more times. It's fucking ridiculous. I have a vague idea why they do this to, try and push you to play new characters. Oh yeah, new characters. The characters of Isaac are based off of biblical figures, also the 4 main classes in D&D. Firstly, we have Magdalene, also known as Maggie, based off Mary Magdalene from the Bible, and the Cleric from D&D. Maggie is a character with a lot of extra health, and based around having a lot of health, which does seem a bit lame, but the utility from extra health goes a long way. Having more health allows you to take far more risks, like donating blood for money, or sacrificing your health for a variety of reasons. Don't stop, but in compensation of this, she has slightly slower speed. This stat mainly exists to actually balance her out, because if she didn't have this, she'd just be better Isaac. Well, better base Isaac, but we'll get to that later. But juxtaposed to this, you have Kane, based off of Kane from the Bible, and the Rogue from D&D. Kane is a faster and stronger version of Isaac, but also a much more fragile version of Isaac. But what's mostly important about him is his starting item. Lucky's Foot makes this character far stronger, mainly because of its mechanics. But to explain why it's good, we need to talk about pills.
Barnacles, I hate the pill.
Pills are collectible items you can find out through your entire run, and by consuming them, you take on their effects, being a variety of good and bad and neutral things. This is a very simple risk-reward game. Yeah, Kane doesn't play it. Kane is physically incapable of eating a bad pill. Even with pills designed with an upside and a downside in mind, he only gets the upside part. So Kane will be like devouring pills the entire game without fail. So all of his downsides are mostly balanced out by all of his upsides. Wow, it's like a game design or something. It'd be a shame if there was a character that just didn't have any upsides and was just a downside. Next, you have Eve, based off Eve from the Bible, and she has a very interesting gimmick. Like Kane, she lacks a lot of health, but on top of this, she has two very specific starting items, Dead Bird and Whore of Babylon. If you pick them up on any other character, they're alright, because they unlock at half a heart, but on Eve specifically, it works on one full red heart. So, as long as you stay at one full red heart, you will be incredibly buffed in your speed, damage, and having a funny bird. The bird is really good in early game and can even gimmick some rooms without you moving at all, but it falls off in end game. I mean, the bird falls off really fucking hard. Like, Bumbo does more damage. Fucking Bumbo. I say it like Bumbo's bad. Bumbo's like highly underrated. I don't know why some people chat shit about him. Like, if Bums were this good in real life, I would love Ace Asterix, but Whore of Babylon will pretty much always be good for you. So good, in fact, you'll actively avoid picking up red hearts. But let's say you don't want to risk your entire run on not getting hit. Let's get into alternative health sources. Isaac has 3 forms of alternative health, and also like 3 other kinds, but that's for later. Soul Hearts, which can be added at any time, but when depleted, that's it. They're gone forever. Black Hearts, similar to Soul Hearts, but just better because when depleted, they just deal damage to the entire room. And last but not least, Eternal Hearts. Eternal Hearts are the most valuable because if you progress to the next floor with them or find another one, you get an extra heart container completely free, and are only really grabbed at the end of floors just to make sure you don't lose it. But other than that, how does this tie into Eve? Well, these 2 items are tied to your red hearts. But what if, instead of just having red hearts, we added soul hearts to the equation? Now I can have 0 red hearts and still live and have the buff. Congratulations, you've removed most of the risk and now have all the reward. Well, to be fair, it is kinda hard to get into this scenario because you need very specific objects to take your red hearts only. But if you know how to do this, it is very valuable to your run. Even if you get low on soul hearts, you can just pick up hearts again and then just, go on living. Wow, this red heart stuff is really complex on Eve. Man, if only they just gave her an item that allowed you to tap into this all the time. Anyways, let's move on to Samson. Samson is clearly based off of Samson from the Bible. Okay, do I need to say that every time? It's actually easier to list like all the characters that aren't based off Bible fucking characters. There's like 4. And that's like, one of them's still like kinda up for debate. What? The fuck was that? Samuel 17:20. And David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with a keeper. Samson is a very strong character. His one and only gimmick is that every time he takes damage, he gets more damage. For the rest of the floor, you will receive more and more damage. It caps out after a while, but that's really it. That's all he needs. This character is actually immaculate for coping, because you get hit by a shot, you didn't mean to. You did mean to, actually. I needed the damage. Walk into a spike? Nah, bro. I need that damage. Die? Psh, run was mid anyways. It's actually really hard to pair like a other mechanic he works really well with, because that's all he's got. Devil deals, fuck it. Upon reaching the second floor, you will see this number. This is your devil chance. This can go up or down depending on a couple things. It can go down if you take red heart damage from an enemy, or by just, ignoring the deal entirely.
Alright, great job, Metal, getting into that devil deal. Now just go and lose it. No, you want no.
But this also sort of replaces your devil deal chance with angel deal chance. And even if you do take enemy damage, you still have a small chance. You can increase this chance by, grabbing uniquely demonic items, or by just killing the needy and or greedy. Oddly enough, if you have angel deal chance, it will still increase if you murder people. See, the Reddit in me is like, oh, see, this is actually deep storytelling because it's like, you sacrifice them to God. But the gamer in me is just like, yeah, I'd rather it work consistently. But what happens if you take the deal? By taking a devil deal, you are presented with the option of taking a handful of demonic items. A handful of which are ridiculously strong. Like run-definingly strong. While others are situationally good. But a good handful of them are just bad. There's no getting around it. They just fucking suck. But with all these items, what's the catch? By taking them, you reduce your max HP. Which, that's a really cool reward in my opinion. By proving you don't really need the heart containers by not getting hit, you can exchange them for something of equal or more value. Something Full Metal Alchemist. Humankind cannot get anything without first giving something in return. I really like Full Metal Alchemist. I don't really get to talk about it too much, but I really like Full Metal Alchemist. Juxtaposed to these are angel deals. See, angels will give a angelic item opposed to a demonic item, and for free. And there is a debate to be had that angel deals are better than devil deals. Because, the worst angel item is just okay, while the worst devil deal item is...
This is amazing, man. The best part about this house is, I got this thing for like $20,000.
Oh! No! Nope!
The swastika?
But, for me, I think it's more of a where my run is right now kind of thing. And also there's, one tiny thing that puts devils over angels. Devils unlock the most busted character for right now. Azazel is a very strong character. Immensely strong. There's a handful of reasons why Azazel's so strong. Mainly, this. Azazel starts with debatably the best fucking tier effect. Brimstone. It does a fuck ton of damage, it's spectral, and on top of that, it doesn't really need much. But to truly make it fair, it's very short. But also, Azazel has wings and a good amount of speed. Flight is incredibly strong in Isaac because you get so many resources. And also, you take one less damage from curse rooms. Technically 0 because you can use a fool's card and... man, who cares? Azazel's really easy. I mean, he's pretty fun, but, he's basic. Azazel is basically perfect. In comparison to everything else around him, everything is terrible. Ooh. That's why they pay me the big bucks. Upon beating Mom's heart a handful of times, you get this message. What does this mean? Well, because you've shown some competency and you know the ropes, the game is actually harder now. Which, it's really fucking funny that they tell you this by saying everything is terrible and not elaborating. The difficulty increases by adding champions, a handful of bosses, and curses. I'm going to talk about the ones I like the most and then work my way down. Champions are discolored enemies, which are harder to defeat, but occasionally will drop you rewards, which I like that. That's pretty cool. Alternate bosses, and I love them. All these bosses are really cool. You even got Gish. No one fucking knows about Gish. I don't even know about Gish that much. But he's here.
Gish is a ball of
And it also introduces another horseman. You know how there's 4 horsemen of the apocalypse? Well, in Isaac, they added all those horsemen and 2 OCs. What the fuck are these guys? But I mean, I like them. They're fun. They're fun. And, well, then you have curses. To be frank, curses are... Curses make this game a lot harder. So let's get into them. Curse of Darkness is the least bad. Basically, it just makes it dark. That's it. That's all it does. It does make it harder to see sometimes, and you might get messed up by it once or twice, but I kinda like it. You have XL, which more or less feels like a buff, even though it's not. What it does, it takes your current floor and the next floor and puts them together. So that means 2 treasure rooms, 2 bosses, and when you leave, it skips the next floor because, you know, they're put together. It's bad because you miss out on a shop opportunity and you miss out on another devil deal opportunity, and you get the same amount of items. But I'm like that one child, like, big room, wow, I get 2 items, it's like an extra item. Curse of the Unknown makes it so you can't see your health bar, which, I mean, it's basically not a downside as long as you don't get hit. But I'd be lying if I didn't start sweating and forget how much health I exactly have. Curse of the Maze is more of an annoyance than an actual hindrance because, well, it just kind of pisses me off. You thought you were going that way? Nope. Nope, you're in a different place now. You have Curse of the Lost, which just allows you not to see your map. That's all it really does. And also adds 4 more rooms, so it makes the floor a tiny bit bigger. Something that's interesting is that in the 3DS version, you could counter this by drawing your own map on the bottom screen. That's really cute. But if I do that on my second monitor, I feel like a fucking loser. So, yeah, it's basically unbeatable. And finally, you have Curse of the Blind. Curse of the Blind... Curse of the Blind makes it so you can't see any item, no matter what. It will only appear as a question mark. This adds risks to the item room, devil room, boss room, and fucking almost every single item you can get now presents a lot more risk because you might grab an item that fucking blows. Except boss rewards, because those are always good. Well, you can also get experimental syringe. That can be bad. Yeah, and you can get laid. Anything is possible. Shut up. But all these curses allow one item to truly shine. Black Candle. Black Candle gives you 1 black heart. I'm sold. I'm fucking sold, bro. Oh my god. Black Candle removes all curses. And also gives you 15% extra deal chance. And that's really all to the everything is terrible. I love it. Yes, it makes the game just harder for no particular reason. But I like that. Isaac is infinitely more fun when I have something to groan about. Speaking of characters I like to groan about. Blue. Lazarus is a character I should have probably talked about a bit earlier before Azazel, but who cares? Lazarus on a surface level is just worse Isaac. That's his gimmick. GG's. But you might have noticed, what does this X1 mean? Upon death, Lazarus will become Lazarus Risen, having higher stats, and you get the life bag at the start of every floor, so it's pretty useful. That's it. I mean, it's kind of a lame transformation. This is like fucking Water Vegeta tier. Well, this is only truly the case because of the other transformations in this game. Oh shit! Items in Isaac have certain sets attached to them. By collecting at least 3 of them, you will transform into that set's respective creature. Well, except for 2. There's a pill called Puberty, which all it really does is add a hairs to you and give you zits. But if you eat 3 puberty pills, you become an adult and get 1 extra heart container, which I find quite humorous. And Super Bum. Basically, if the stars align and you somehow get Bum Friend, Dark Bum, and Key Bum, they will merge into Super Bum. The only reason I'm mentioning it is because my friend who I was getting into Isaac asked, hey, is there any kind of a super bum? And I replied with, yeah. Then he asked, oh, what's it called? I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you this. You got Fun Guy from consuming 3 mushrooms, it just gives you a heart container. You have Seraphim and Leviathan, which are for respective devil and angel deals, both granting flight and giving a little bit of HP. Spider Baby, that gives a spider familiar that just applies random effects to enemies around it. Bookworm, which is a 1 in 4 chance to fire a double tier. But now, you got the extra fun ones, like Oh Crap, which, despite it being really fucking stupid and almost you'll never get it because you'll never actively pick up enough poop items, it's really good. Basically, every time you break a poop, you get 1 heart. That's really insane because there's almost like no ways to regen in this game. Bob, who's only really interesting because, well, I mean, there's so many items that reference Bob, but now he's real. Basically, now you have a trail of creep around you. That's all it does. Spun, which you get from injecting a bunch of shit into your body, which gives a pretty substantial damage boost. Conjoined by having enough familiars, which, I mean, is actually really fucking good because it allows you to shoot more. That's all it really needs, man. Yes, Mother just gives you a knife. Beelzebub, which makes all flies friendly to you, and also grants flight. Fucking called flies. Who fucking writes this shit? And also Stompy exists, but like, I mean, to call this one a transformation when it's basically tied to like 2 items and growth, and finally, my most favorite transformation, Guppy. It gives you flight, but its most important aspect is every time you shoot an enemy, it has a 66% chance to generate a fly, which is completely build defining. It does so much damage because flies themselves do double your damage. And that's all the transformations, really. What can I say? They're all delightful. They allow so much variety in runs and allows for like a tiny bit of strategy. You know, it really just highlights how cool the items are. If only there's a character that just had every item. Oh, hi, Eden. Eden is kind of mundane. His gimmick is that he's completely random. That's it. That's just it. I mean, his unlock method is more interesting. You only get like so many chances to play him, so but I hope those items are good. Every time you play Eden, it costs 1 Eden token. You get Eden tokens from beating Mom's heart. But my secret is, Barry, you do it once, and then you open a notepad, and then you add in 1,000,000 Eden tokens, and then you get to play the character like it's normal. Fucking no review, I refuse. He's got nothing. But enough talking about Eden. Now let's move on to Judas. Judas is the glass cannon. The highest risk with the highest reward. Mainly due to Book of Belial and his damage multiplier. To simplify that, basically anytime he would gain damage, he gains far more than others. Speaking of gains, he starts off with 3 coins, which is more of like a cute Easter egg than an actual like plus side. An interesting bit of trivia is that a lot of people confuse the fez on his head as a reference to Fez, developed by Phil Fish. And I see where you can make this comparison because, you know, Phil Fish was a cunt and Judas was also a cunt, so like, you know. But it's mainly because Edmund wanted to put a cool hat on Judas to make him more like a wizard class without him having a wizard hat. Something that's important about Judas is how you unlock him. So, when you beat Mom's heart, it's not exactly the end, because if you get a deal after beating Mom's heart, depending on the exact deal you get, you can either go to the Cathedral or to Shield. These expand the runs even further, but most importantly, Shield allows you to unlock Judas by defeating your new final boss. The Satan fight is kinda easy. I'd argue the floor itself is much scarier, especially on Repentance, but it's a classic. I mean, obviously we'd have to fight Satan at some point in this game, and well, I must say, it disappoints. His starting phase is just like a different boss, man. Who give a fuck? Second phase is really cool because it's like, oh look, it's the Devil Deal statue. It's real.
Take my picture.
But the final phase, But hey, you get Judas in the end, and Judas, he's pretty cool. And more or less, you should be up enough to finally beat Mom's heart for the 10th time. Now you can go to Shoal or Cathedral anytime you want, which makes getting the endings for those characters so much easier. And it replaces Mom's heart with It Lives, which, I mean, it's just a resprite really, but you know, that's pretty much it. That's kind of interesting, I guess. What's with the music? No. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I think it's about time to talk about Blue Baby. Blue Baby is my least favorite character in all of Isaac. Blue Baby is the worst designed character in this entire game. Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 1 billion cells that comprise my frog body. If the word hate was engraved on every single atom of those hundreds of billions of cells, it would not equal 1/1 billionth of the hate I feel for Blue Baby in this micro instant. For you, hate. So let's get into Blue Baby. How does he function? How does he work? And what really makes him so below the bar? Blue Baby is unable to obtain red hearts, and whenever he would obtain a red heart, he will obtain a soul heart. And he can only hold soul hearts or demon hearts. He has the active item Poop, which, well, it's poop. He gets cheaper devil deals, so instead of it costing 3 soul hearts, it costs the same amount as the red heart value of them. Which, side note, he used to not have this buff, so every time he took a deal, it would take 3 soul hearts. But something that might, you know, cross your mind is, well, if soul hearts are so volatile, why would I ever want to give them up? Especially on a character who's really hard to heal with. But I'm forgetting one crucial buff he received. Every time he breaks a poop, he gets a fly. Lend me some flies, Edmund. This is base rotten baby we're up against. My main problem is with Blue Baby is that he's got fucking nothing going for him. He has no value or purpose. He sucks when you're a new player and as an experienced player. Because, alright, let's just say Eve, for example. Eve is a character all about having low HP. And if you're a new player, it's gonna save your life because you know, oh fuck, I'm dying. Well, now I have this fucking one last chance. But as an experienced player, you can just tap into that and now you have a very fun, fast character. This motherfucker just sucks. I mean, he technically has more upsides, like, oh yeah, you don't lose deal chance because you never take red heart damage. That really comes into effect with you. You don't deserve the deal chance, and those deals are gonna be shit because you're gonna have fucking no soul hearts. With this all being said, there are some upsides to Blue Baby, which is surprising because all I've been saying is fucking
the demons, they're after me. They watch me, they're in my head. The demons are in my head. Don't do that,
is that if you go up to the cathedral, instead of fighting Satan, you battle Isaac himself. And unlike the Satan fight, it's like actually kind of cool. He has interesting bullet patterns. He has this like big light attack. Like, the only part I'd argue is worse is the ending. Oh yeah, I should probably talk about the endings. I've glossed over a lot of them up to this point, counting on they just give you items and it's just like, wow, Isaac, you got the new. But after you defeat Isaac, you're presented with a cutscene that shows you Isaac reading his Bible before looking to the mirror and seeing himself as evil. Before he looks to his toy chest. And after you beat Sheol and Satan, you see the continuation of this cutscene, where Isaac opens his chest, gets visions of the characters he's played so far, before he steps into the chest, locking himself inside. Anyways, after doing this with Blue Baby, now you get the D6 on Isaac. Let's fucking go! But before I go into this, I should probably explain a lot. Because Isaac up to this point has been the baseline, you know, because they all play off of Isaac. Kane is fast and strong Isaac, Maggie is tanky Isaac, Blue Baby was fat, so they all have their own gimmicks. But the D6 is one of the strongest actives in the game, completely changing how Isaac plays. But how exactly does D6 work? The D6, when used, will re-roll items. This is already huge because the only real choice you've had with items is either picking them up or not picking them up. So, now you can replace all the bad items with potentially good items. But you might be asking, how does it decide what items it goes for? Is it just all of them? Well, no. Items are broken down into separate pools. When the game gives you an item, it picks one of the items of that exact pool. Well, unless you grab Chaos, because that merges every single item pool into one pool, which allows for fucking bullshit to happen. This could go crazy or horrible. This could go But if you're not in that scenario, if you spawn a item in a pool you want and then re-roll, it will only turn into those exact items. This gives you a ridiculous amount of control over what items you possess, and makes you think differently of almost every single item you pick up. Temperance isn't just about making money anymore, it's about tapping into a different item pool. And Judgment, it just costs money and then you can tap into almost every item pool. Alright, yeah, now just like use your Judgment card and you should be able to do it.
What Judgment card?
You're telling me you lost Judgment? Isaac's strength comes from the fact that he's just allowed to be very picky with his stuff. The amount of control you do have on Isaac is unlike any other character in the entire game. Speaking of control, I'm gonna check my horoscope today, no particular reason. That could be for anyone. Planetariums are one of the more unique room generations you can get. They have a 1% spawn chance, but it can be increased by ignoring the treasure room or picking up certain items, which the ignoring treasure room part is like hyper advanced strategy, because you gotta know. You gotta be on the purest nothing ever happens for your run. But when you do get the planetarium, you usually only get one planetarium item. But by abusing the item pool, you can just get as many as you'd like. I enjoy them all, like it's 10 really fun items in Jupiter. But during your runs, you have a small chance to come across a missing poster. And if you sacrifice yourself while you're holding the missing poster, you'll unlock the Lost. The Lost is a really, really interesting character that we're not gonna play. Trust me, you don't want to play him just yet. You want to do this first. Before I talk about the Lost, let's talk about greed.
So what's more important, the 5 coins or us?
5 coins.
Damn, you didn't even think about it.
Greed mode is a alternative mode to, well, regular. Instead of it being about collecting items and exploring rooms, it's about money. Basically, you start off by getting a free item, but every other item you're gonna have to pay for. The way you earn money is by hitting this button and begin a wave challenge. And by progressing through the waves, you'll earn money before fighting 2 bosses and maybe 3 if you want to go for a deal. You repeat this for a couple floors until you fight the final boss in Ultra Greed. Ultra Greed is a really interesting boss because, well, I mean, it's probably the biggest we've seen so far. His arena is a long room, which is very uncommon for bosses. He fires out coins and has a really unique gimmick with his whole slot machine. It's cool to have a purely exclusive fight to this mode. And after you beat it, you are presented with a chest and a donation machine. This is your true goal of Greed mode. to fill up this machine as much as possible. This also does apply to the donation machine in shops, but this is more important. I'm mainly gonna go over just the highlights. Firstly, it gives Kane the paperclip trinket, which is a humongous buff because he was already really fucking good. Add that plus free golden chests. Holy shit. It gives Eve the razor blade, which is humongous for her character because now she can literally tap into a red health gimmick at any time. But this is even better because, well, you control exactly when it happens, and on top of that you get more damage because, you know, it's razor blade, that's what it does. And your next milestone is Greedier mode. Ooh! Greedier mode is supposed to be the hard version of Greed mode. Firstly, let me get into my compliments for Greedier mode. That naming scheme? That's pretty cute. I like that. This concludes all my compliments. I don't like this mode. Despite having greed in the name and, you know, the ear part meaning like, oh yeah, so it's more greedy, there's far less money in this one. This means you'll have to work a lot harder for a lot less reward, on top of way more enemies because they spawn far more frequently on Greedier mode. So you're likely being overwhelmed and broke. Man, I play games to escape reality, man, fuck you. So it makes it far more luck based, whether you win or not, which really fucking blows. There is one aspect I do particularly like a lot, which is the extra boss, where Ultra Greed gets a second phase, which it's not that hard, but you know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Like the first time it happens, you're like, oh shit. But the lead up to this fight is far harder than the actual fight, which really sucks because it's really artificial difficulty. It's not a complex challenge, it's fucking, ooh, a monkey brain, put more enemies on the screen, evaporate 80,000% of his income. But there is one small benefit to playing Greedier over Greed mode. It makes the machine jam less, but you're gonna need to consistently not get hit and consistently get good builds. If only there was a character that was kinda entirely made for Greed mode. Lilith is probably one of the lamest unlock methods because you just gotta beat Greed mode with Azazel. How Lilith works is that she fights with only familiars. Familiars are these little babies that follow you. But by using your active, you get another pair of them. But counting on in Greed mode you're in the same room and constantly getting charged, you get like almost infinite babies. And this applies to every familiar in the game. And it allows you to have like a bunch of different and really fun builds.
Time to take a piss.
But counting on we're talking on Greed, how does she play on like the normal game? She's alright. And in some cases, pretty good. Really fun character. To be fair, she does have a learning curve, but with enough practice, you can actually utilize her strengths.
Yo, man, give me my friend back and we'll call it even. I got a fucking army with me.
And the final, most important thing you get from Greed mode is Holy Mantle on the Lost. Okay, now you can play the Lost. The Lost is a lot of things. A ghost. Okay, he's not a lot of things. Well, firstly, because he's a ghost, he has spectral tears and he can fly. But the important thing about the Lost is what he lacks. HP. Entirely. Which means if the Lost takes 2 hits, it's over. The reason I recommend getting Holy Mantle first is because it's either you take 2 hits, or 1 hit and instantly die. Well, what are the strengths of the Lost? Okay, it can't just be flight and spectral. They all lie in the fact he doesn't have HP. Because you have Holy Mantle and Flight, that means you can take Curse Rooms for free. Well, unless you take damage, and then, yeah, it's over. It's over. But you might wonder, if I don't have any health, what exactly do I offer to Devil Deals? Nothing! You get them for completely free! To be fair, you do lose out on the other options, But who cares? It's free. And it's not like the deal chance is ever gonna go down because, oh, I took damage, I lost the deal chance. Motherfucker, you lost the run. And the Lost works incredibly well with luck-based items because he's guaranteed to get perfection. An item you get for not taking damage for 3 floors. He does react uniquely to a lot of things, like health ups do nothing for him because he has no health. On hit items, do nothing, he has no health, you can't take damage. Luckily he can exchange these with his Eternal D6, but you should only do it on items that are truly useless to you, because it has a chance to delete the item out of existence. With all this combined, the Lost isn't just a very unique character, it's a very, very fun character with a very high skill ceiling. A character that rewards you for knowing bullet patterns, knowing enemy behaviors. Just being good at the game rewards you heavily. The Lost is an amazingly designed character. He's such a simple concept, but he's done so well. But you might be asking, what do you get if you fully complete the Greed Machine? If you get the Greed Machine to exactly 1,000 coins, you unlock the Keeper. Enough! Cut it out! Cut it! Keeper is a really interesting character because it's based off of the shopkeepers. Isn't that cute? But the main thing Keeper is based on is money. He can make a fuck ton of money, you can get into shops for free so you can spend money more easily, and most importantly, your health is money. Oh, but you might be wondering, what happens when red hearts spawn, or any form of heart spawns? He gets flies for it. And makes them more consistently and better than Blue Baby. Holy shit, does this character fucking suck! But Keeper is limited to 3 health containers. Well, technically 2, but I'll get into that later. Because he's only locked to 3 hearts, Devil Deals don't cost heart containers, they cost money. This allows you to take as many Devil Deal items as you like as long as you have the cash for it. Which is incredibly fun because it's also rewarding you because the only way you can earn a lot of money is by not getting hit. They also get affected by sales, which is, oh my god, this is literally the coolest gimmick ever. And I haven't even talked about the most important part about Keeper. He has a shotgun. You've probably noticed it up to this point, but like, this character is really fucking fun. But let's get one thing straight. You heard me back there. What did I mean by technically 2 heart containers? Well, Keeper doesn't exactly start with all this. Especially not with 3, he starts with 2. To unlock 3 health containers, you need to do something very specific. When you start a run in Isaac, you are being timed. If you reach certain points before a certain time, a door will open. The first one is if you reach Mom before 20 minutes have passed, you enter Boss Rush. Which, it's more of like a little treat that you actually got here so fast, more than like a challenge. But I'd be lying if I didn't love him. It's always a welcome surprise to get it. But if you beat Mom's Heart before 30 minutes, then you're taken to a blue room. It has a handful of items to power you up, and even a shop, which I guess that is a tad peculiar. I mean, why would I need all this stuff? This right here is Hush, one of the hardest bosses in the entire game. Hush's first phase is rather simple because, you know, the base Isaac attacks, you know, maybe a bit more here and there. But then when you get to second phase, it's over. It's over, bro. Hush's second phase is a true bullet hell. It's incredible. Except when he does this little like purple attack and then I just fucking instantly combust.
Am I gonna see you on the news?
Breaking news tonight at Metro Airport, a driver crashed.
I used to be able to dodge it. Now I can't. I don't know what's wrong with me. But I'd argue the hardest part about Hush is the amount of health he has. Hush is a boss with the highest health in the entire game. And even if you have a lot of damage, he still has boss armor on top of that, so you're gonna be there for a while. So you do actually have to learn his bullet patterns. But he's not impossible to beat. And after which, you just progress as normal, because whatever, man. And probably by now, you've beaten at least Satan and Isaac 5 times, unlocking yourself the Polaroid and the Negative. The important things about these 2 items is that by choosing one of them, it extends your path. These are the 2 final levels. The chest and the dark world. The dark world is, well, dark.
No f***ing way!
But it offers you a handful of demonic items. And as you progress through the floor, you get actual real items instead of just coins or keys or whatever. Which makes this section feel like a massive reward. I mean, like, it's not particularly hard because you're most likely broken as shit at this point. But I mean, come on. Who doesn't like getting even stronger for no reason? You make your way all the way to the Lamb. The Lamb, I mean, if I'm being honest, is kind of a baby easy fight. I do like the design and the bullet patterns, but like, at this point, you're kind of just too strong to lose. But by completing this, you get a new ending, which shows the outside of Isaac's house with a missing poster outside. And in the distance, you can see his mother searching for him. But who cares about that? Let's talk about the chest. The chest is similar to the Dark World, except it has more items. And is also visually more fun. I mean, like, guys, look, we're in a big chest. The irony. And now you might be wondering, what's the big boss of the chest?
I'll just kill you. And if you're ever reborn again as a new curse, I'll kill you then too. Change your name and appearance, I'll still kill you again and again.
My health is improving. Well, to get into the fight, it's kind of just like an easier version of Isaac. And Isaac isn't even really that hard of a boss, so it's already a low bar. And it's also kind of community-wide that they prefer the chest over the Dark World. But I do love them both, because if I'm getting sick of the chest, I can go to the Dark World. And if I'm getting sick of the Dark World, I can go to the chest. But the chest ending is a lot different than the others. Instead of it being a animated cutscene, it's a handful of photos. It tells us that Isaac had a father figure growing up, him crying alone, and his father leaving, which is likely the catalyst to a lot of the issues that Isaac has. But you might have noticed something up to this point. What's with this big door in the chest and Dark World? Well, eventually you'll get a message called "The Angels Await." And honestly, I don't know how you're supposed to figure this out legitimately. If you enter an angel room and bomb the statue comes to life, giving you a short boss fight and a piece of a key. If you get both pieces and then go to the chest or Dark World, you can then enter a new room. This is Mega Satan. Metal ass name, bro. Mega Satan is a insane final boss. He's incredibly unique, having a lot of interesting attacks. He summons other bosses in there, but it actually makes sense because, you know, he summons the Deadly Sins, the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, the fallen versions of Gabriel and Uriel. He's got such cool bullet patterns. He's incredibly balanced, and you know what? He's a really cool boss. And by beating him, you get another ending, showing that Isaac is breathing heavily in the chest while slowly becoming a demonic figure, until it fully overtakes him and he smiles. This motherfucker hasn't smiled once. Like, you can look back on like the 50 minutes it's been, like, he has not smiled a single time. I mean, you might be able to count the first ending, but also Mother shuts that shit down instantly. Also unlock a new character, Apollyon. Yeah, he's okay. In concept, I do really like him, but in practice...
Documents were in place. Buford, you listening? Now get this. That's when the subcommittee had to reallocate the funds.
How Apollyon works is that he starts with this active item called Void. The way that Void works is that it eats other items, turning them into raw stats. So if it's an item you don't need or don't like, you can turn it into stats. But if you absorb an active item, then the active item's effect is attached to Void. And this stacks infinitely. So you could have like 5 to 10 different active items all in one. This sounds so cool, and it is, but I don't like him. The main reason I don't like him that much is because he has a chance to be interesting, but if you got a bad item and then bad stats, man, fuck does that feel bad. And if you do get the stats you like, well, you have no items, so it kind of makes all runs feel the same-ish. You could argue he has sort of the same gimmick as Isaac. Instead of turning useless items into good items, he turns useless items into stats. But the thing is, when I'm playing Isaac and I get a bad item back to back, I'm like, well, luck of the draw, I guess. But when I'm on Apollyon and I get bad stats on a bad item, fuck, you are a fucking bomb! But there's one reason why I still have a soft spot for him. Expired Beans art. They make Apollyon and Lilith look really cute, so it's hard to hate them. So get out of here, you little scamp. Ooh, you. Ooh, you. I said get out! Speaking of voids, well, after the Mega Satan fight, or the Blue Baby fight, there's a portal that appears. By entering the void, you get to the final floor of the basement. The void being the actual true final level of the basement, the deepest part. I'm not fucking with you, there's no bait and switch, this is actually the last one. The void is the largest floor up to this point. It's also built off of every other room up to this point. Some people might say this is lazy game design. They are just reusing assets. You'd have to be a moron to think this is good content. Okay, look, man, I was an RGG fan for so long. I love reused assets. It's like my favorite 4 in the entire game, and like, nobody else likes it. I mean, for what I've seen online. I could just be living in an echo chamber. But, you know, I also live in a room full of mirrors, so I can be surrounded by winners. I'm not gonna be lame and say, ooh, let people enjoy things. No, this shit is ass, but I love it. Is a man not entitled to a schlop? It also leads to my favorite fight in the entire game. Delirium. Delirium is a shapeshifter. But specifically, a shapeshifter that turns into different bosses that you've specifically faced across the run. Which means every single Delirium fight is different. It technically makes it hard to train for this exact boss fight. But the thing is, your training was actually the entire run up to this point because it's every boss you've seen. I mean, a real, like, justified reason to hate him is because he has a fuck ton of bugs attached to him. But when this fight works, it's so cool to me, man. Like, it's just, come on, he's like, oh, the bosses is so fucking cool. Delirium is just such a unique boss. You don't really get to see stuff like this anymore. He performs his gimmick perfectly. But, well, after you finally defeat him, you get another ending, which shows Isaac breathing heavily in a small box, interspliced with a handful of memories, his parents arguing, his mother weeping, photos containing his father being defaced and burned, until we're greeted by a long line of photos, slowly getting darker and darker, until it cuts to black. Until we cut back to Isaac, who's now dead in the box, his mother discovering his corpse, which cuts outside to show the missing poster flying away, now that Isaac's been found. Before lastly showing us Isaac walking around in a barren gray field. Up to this point, I have not been honest with you. The story of Isaac hasn't been about a crazed mother trying to sacrifice her child. What we're playing in Isaac isn't real. Nothing in the basement actually makes sense. All the items are inherently childish, being made up of toys and stuff found around his house. Then think back to the characters. All of them are sinners. Judas selling out Jesus, Kane murdering his own brother, Eve the first one to eat the forbidden fruit, Azazel and Lilith both being demons, Samson for thinking the stripper actually likes him, and then you have the last character being Isaac, because he sees himself as a sinner. Believing that he is evil and caused his parents' divorce, he locks himself away in the toy chest, imagining that his mother is after him, escaping to the basement where he can be powerful. You even see this in the bosses like Mom and Mom's Heart, literally by disappointing his mother and killing her, literally breaking her heart. Bars. It lives being Isaac as a fetus, wishing he was never born. Him literally fighting himself being another form of his self-hatred. The blue baby fight being confronting his own death within the box, and Delirium being his life flashing before his eyes before he dies. Delirium itself being caused by carbon monoxide poisoning, or, even worse, some form of lack of nutrition, meaning Isaac could have died of starvation instead of asphyxiation. God, man, I should do a happy one next time. Waiter, more depressing stories, please. I mean, on the bright side, I did get to the All in the Head game before Pyrocynical did, so, yeah, below me. But, you know what? How about I lighten the mood a bit, you know? What if I talk about a character we've forgotten? Bethany? Fuck, you're right. Bethany is probably one of my favorite characters in any video game ever, and, the fact I haven't talked about her so far is kind of a sign that I'm going fucking senile in my age. I'm 18, I've wasted my life, it's over. Almost everything interesting about Bethany herself is tied to the Book of Virtues. The way the Book of Virtues works is that by using it, you get a wisp. Wisps fire bullets alongside you, and that's all they really need to do. Yes, if they get ran into or get hit by too many shots, they'll disappear, but you can stack a good amount of them on you. And another one of Bethany's gimmicks is that she can't hold soul hearts, but they get stored in her active as charge. So you can have like 1,000,000 different hits of your Book of Virtues without even charging it. And with this like small gimmick, you think, oh wow, so you know what, that's a pretty cool character. Having a small army of wisps, that's pretty interesting, rewarding you for not getting hit by extra damage. But there's this tiny property with Book of Virtues. If you get another active item, it goes on top of Book of Virtues. And when you use the active, you get the effects of the active on top of a unique wisp. Meaning that Book of Virtues has a unique interaction with the other 170 active items. Every single active item in the game gets used out of this. It's so cool and unique. Like, it must have been fucking hell to develop, but it was so worth it. It allows Bethany to be one of the most unique characters in the entire game. But something I talked about is how she's one of my favorite characters. By that logic, who is my favorite? Well, Forgotten got a big ass head though. My bad, Forgotten. Been a while since I picked up the pen. The Forgotten is my favorite Isaac character in the entire game. There is a lot to talk about with this character because he has a lot of weird mechanics. The one that's most apparent is that he actually can't cry, counting on, he's fucking bone. So, instead of crying, he has a bone club and fights purely with melee, while also being able to throw his bone club like a boomerang by holding it down. The other important thing about him is bone hearts. Instead of having regular hearts like everyone else, he has bone hearts.
Boner.
Bone hearts work similar to regular heart containers, but slightly different. They technically give you more hits because instead of having a max of 2 hits, it's a max of 3 hits. But on the 3rd hit, the entire container is destroyed, which is incredibly nice, especially on characters with Bethany, who can't guard her health with soul hearts, and Blue Baby, who can accept them, but can't fill them, so they're technically worse than blue hearts. I fucking hate you! But what about this bottom row of soul hearts? The Forgotten has a second character attached to him. His max health is cut in half, but with this, you technically have 2 characters, which is a gimmick that's kind of repeated like multiple times, but we'll get to that later. So the soul sort of works just the same as the Lost, but with only soul hearts and demon hearts, but remains chained to the body. And by switching to the soul, your active hitbox is on the soul, which allows you to be very creative in combat, making enemies second guess themselves, and you could just do a lot of cool shit with this character, man. You can fucking third strike parry projectiles, man. How can you not love this character? And if you want to, you can literally sacrifice the soul in devil deals, then later on get another soul heart and then fucking back in better than ever. The Forgotten is a very incredibly dynamic character. Alright, I don't make fucking shitty homages to just any character. This is my boy.
Only Ken's allowed in here.
Alice, are you blind? Don't you see the family resemblance? That's my brother.
And because he's like almost purely melee, he gets so many cool and unique interactions. We'd be here all day if I talked about them. I'll mention only one. Mom's Knife is a really fun tier effect. I mean, it fucks up some builds, but it's cool. But counting on the Forgotten is melee based, he just fucking sticks it into his club. That's fucking hilarious. But how about we get into something a bit more deep? Something you might have noticed up to this point are these doors popping up. See, after you beat Hush 3 times, you get a special reward. By opening these doors, you can enter a new path. They're like some sort of alt path or something. The important thing about the alt paths is they are far harder. But in the item room, you have the choice between a revealed item and a hidden item. And also allows you to get another ending by doing a couple of tasks. An ending requiring me to do a set of tasks. Huh.
Hi guys, Mr. Ruffles here. We've completed the Der Eisendrache.
Firstly, make your way to the down floor. On the 3rd floor, you'll be able to find a room with a mirror in it and a white fire. Touch the white fire and then you become the Lost. By doing this, you can enter the mirror world, make your way to the item room, and then you get your first knife piece. You could leave, or you can try challenging the boss a second time for another item. So there's even more reasons to go down the alt path, even if you're not going for the ending. The next one up is the mines. Firstly, you gotta find a room with a minecart in it, and then find 3 buttons scattered across the floor. After which, you hop in the minecart and you go to a small little area. Then the game strips you of all your items. And well, there it is, the other knife piece. Go on, grab it. You are now placed into a chase sequence with this fucking demonic creature. I don't know what the hell this is. It does scare the shit out of you the first time it happens, but the following times, not so much. There aren't a lot of different variants of it, so around like the 3rd or 4th time you kind of memorize all of them. After you escape, you've now fully completed the knife, and well, it does help you a little bit here and there. And after, you have the final area, the mausoleum. Man, I fucking hate my friends. The mausoleum is my favorite visually, but my least favorite gameplay wise. All the enemies here fucking suck. I don't like them. The bosses, on the other hand, I like them quite a lot. You don't actually have to do anything. Ow, my finger. You don't have to do anything else in specific, really. All you have to do is, after beating Mom, open up this flesh door using your newly created knife. And by doing this, you get to fight Mom's heart again. Well, it's slightly revamped, but you know, it's Mom's heart again. Because the Mom's heart fight got replaced with It Lives. You could technically still fight them even beforehand by finding them on the void floor, but honestly, this is a tad cooler. I thought you were him. But after defeating it, the room goes dark. And instead of going to the womb, you go to the corpse. Which, honestly, I love the vibe of the corpse a lot, because it's just... I mean, it feels like you're actually in a dead body. And of course, there's new bosses with the area. And I mean, before we continue on, I need to glaze the fuck out of the alt path so much. The alt path adds so much variety to runs because you can just flip-flop between the main path and the alt path at almost any time. It adds so much replay value and it's so much fun. I think my only real complaint is that it's actually too good looking. Like, it makes the base game, like the regular path, look fucking ancient. Now that you've defeated the rest of the corpse, you have one last fight to deal with. Mother. Mother is a amazing fight. I mean, you'd hope so, because you did like an entire COD Zombies Easter egg to get here. It has a bunch of unique bullet patterns, and her animations look great. It feels so dynamic and just oozes that perfect Isaac energy. This fight had the perfect amount of buildup and paid off beautifully. And it's wrapped up nicely in a amazingly animated ending. The only part I don't really like about this ending is that it's too good. Man, like the old endings look like shit in comparison. The main things that this ending highlights is Isaac's imagination. As he sketches out Mother, his mom walks in, finds the drawing and assumes it's of her as a grotesque monster. Isaac trying to explain himself that it wasn't her, it's too late. She forces him into the closet, her telling him he's just like his father, and as he lays there, he slowly gets consumed by dark thoughts. Watching Child Isaac right now makes me appreciate my parents more. And lastly, you get the final character. Or should I say, characters. Jacob and Esau. Jacob and Esau is probably one of the most unique characters in the entire game because, well, it's two people. You're playing two individual characters. They have separate items, they have separate stats, but most importantly, they have separate health bars. Jacob being the healthy one but weak, and Esau doing most of the damage while having very limited health. Basically, the upside and downside of Jacob and Esau is just because they're Jacob and Esau. Pros, 2 characters. Cons, 2 characters. You can control each one individually, but most of the time they'll be attached together. Basically, the way I play Jacob and Esau is I fucking driving them around like a semi-truck. I will say Jacob and Esau is a really fucking annoying character, but when you figure them out, it's pretty fun. It is pretty fun. You just gotta like focus hard as fuck and have like the patience of a monk. But there is one final last thing it unlocks. The path to the true final ending. The true final ending, like this is it, this is the last one. And it's actually the simplest to get. Mom Floor now has a new inconspicuous door. What you have to do is take the Polaroid or negative and bring it here. When you enter the mom room, it shuts the door behind you. So how do you escape? On the floor itself, you can find a marked skull, and by destroying it, you can get a fool's card, allowing you to escape. You're then transported to the mausoleum again, but now when you enter the boss room, there's no boss, just a note. By taking the note, you begin hearing Isaac's parents.
spent it. It's gone. Just get over it.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's gone? How can you have spent our savings? He's self-destructive and disturbed, just like his father. Look at who he has to look up to. And you're drunk again, aren't you?
Shut up, Maggie. Shut up! You just keep pushing me like this. I'm leaving.
Good. Leave! We'll be fine without you. Abandon us like you've abandoned yourself.
As this goes on, you start to piece together that this is the argument that led to Isaac's father leaving.
You need to repent. You need to confess your sins and become saved. Let his light inside you cleanse your soul.
You are insane. You are taking this too far. Can't you hear how you sound?
Pray with me. Pray for your salvation. Come, pray with us, Isaac.
I have to say, I love this. I don't actually, no, wait, hold on. Not like the whole fucking father leaving thing, but like, you know, the story and the, oh, fuck. You know, that time when Metal 8 said he loved child abandonment really didn't sit right with me.
Where are you going? Wait! We need you! Your son needs you!
I'm doing more harm than good. I just can't do this anymore. I'm sorry.
Please don't leave us!
I'm sorry, Isaac.
And after you climb all the way to the top, you make it back home. You're gonna explore around the house, but the important part is sleeping in your mother's bed. Dogma is the coolest fight in this entire game. It's not my favorite, but it's the coolest one. Dogma itself is based off of, well, the Christian broadcast that your mother was watching that sort of spiraled all of this. The TV static aesthetic just fucks so hard. It's an incredible fight. I might say it's the best fight in the game. It fits with the themes of Isaac, and I mean, I must say, this is a perfect final boss. I didn't say it was the final boss, though. This right here is the beast fight, the final true boss of Isaac. Visually, I love the fight. The horsemen look fucking gorgeous. I love it visually. But it's just okay, in my opinion. I just don't like it thematically because, well, Dogma felt way more like a final boss than the beast. And I'm not even saying like the beast is a bad fight. No, it's a great fight. An amazing fight. I mean, it's not as creative as other fights, but it's solid. But there is one thing that makes it all worth it in the end. The final ending of Isaac.
Then suddenly, the sky above cracked open. and a white beam of light reached down into the earth, smiting the mother of harlots asunder and setting the blood lake to a boil. As the beast descended down into the lake of fire, Isaac ascended towards the crack in the sky, and as he flew, he could see echoes of his past before him. He saw his mother mourning the loss of her son. He saw his father leaving them without turning to say goodbye. He saw his mother sleeping and his father taking money from her purse. He heard the late-night fights they had that kept him up at night, and the guilt he felt for what he believed he was causing. He felt the pain in his stomach during those sleepless nights, and saw his shadow in the closet waiting for him. As he rose, he felt his fears drop from his body, his shame, his worry pulled from his being. As he became lighter, his ascent became faster. He saw his one true companion alive and well. He saw his mother and father together again, holding each other. He felt his mother kissing him on the head after he had said his prayers, and the comfort in knowing someone was watching over him. He saw his own birth, and the faces of his parents filled with joy and optimism. And then he saw nothing. Are you sure this is how you want this story to end, Isaac? You're the one writing it. It doesn't have to end this way. Here, how about we tell it a different way? Maybe a happy ending?
Okay, Daddy.
Good. Are you getting sleepy yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so Isaac and his parents lived in a small house on the top of a hill.
This is the ending of Isaac. The story of Isaac is a grim one, but Isaac himself decided to write his own ending. In the final moments of Isaac's life, he imagines a happier story for himself. I believe this is the best way Isaac could have ended. Well, I mean, I guess I could think of one way it could have ended better.
And I say you got fucking trolled! Oh!
It was a prank! We were just fooling you!
Well, what can I say? That was The Binding of Isaac. What a amazing game. But let's say, for the sake of the argument, you went for the ending, but you left a single trinket in the boss room. When you come back to it during your ascent, it has turned into a red cracked key. If you bring it home, it will allow you to open a closet door and find a new character. But not just any character, it's a new version of your character. And now you just hit, E on the character select screen and it's like, oh my fucking god, oh my fucking. God fucking damn it! The Tainted characters, well, to me, I think they serve as this game's New Game Plus feature. The main philosophy of the Tainted characters is that they are based off of the original characters, but their main idea is twisted. They're supposed to be a sort of darker version of that character. I mean, I guess you could say they're, tainted. And there's a sort of reason I've separated them so much because, well, they're kind of like a whole new video game. I mean, best way to describe the characters is just like this fucking video. I will say it's a much easier game because you have all the endings unlocked, so you can just do them. I mean, if you play perfectly, you can do it in 5 runs on each character. So basically, you have to beat the game like another 85 times to truly complete it. Well, give or take, firstly, we have Tainted Isaac. Tainted Isaac is a very unique character, counting on every time he looks at an item, it switches between one or the other, allowing you to choose between the two. But he can only hold 8 passive items. If you try picking up a 9th, you'll swap it out with another item. So you have a sort of inventory management thing where you've got to, weigh your options. Or if an item is completely useless to you now, you can just, throw it away. Honestly, this is so fucking sick. It's such a unique interpretation of Isaac. He has the feeling of being able to choose and be picky while having the weakness of inventory management and shit. And it allows for a lot of fine tuning, and it's pretty fucking cool. After this, you have Tainted Maggie. Her gimmick is that she hugs people. Basically, by running into enemies, she'll swipe at them. And by killing enemies, they drop temporary hearts. But one of her main flaws is that, well, she can't exactly retain health above a certain point. Any excess health gets slowly drained out of her, so it's a sort of use it or lose it thing. I will say, Tainted Maggie is fun, but goddamn does she get outclassed in endgame. And usually by endgame, all you have left is fucking, oh, I have 2 heart containers and I'm slowly dying. But you'll still get use out of her regeneration and free health. Also, I think probably the craziest part is I've talked about the entire character without mentioning Yumheart. Yumheart has now been changed from an active item to a new form of active item, a pocket active. Basically, in your pill slot, you'll have a active item. You can still get pills and stuff, you just hit control and swap between them. I mean, it's incredibly useful because, well, you get to hold 2 actives, and Yumheart's amazing. But also, Tainted Maggie receives double healing from it. And with the right items, you can do some, really fucked up synergies.
Whatever. How much is this? 99. Okay. Thank you. Anything else? My penny. Your penny? Yeah. Alright, I got you. Here you go, bro.
I mean, I just love these Tainted characters' themings, okay? Isaac and his whole rerolling mechanic got twisted into an inventory system. Maggie, the character all about healing, has to sacrifice her health to do damage. So, I mean, I wonder what Tainted Kane's about.
That's right, we're gonna cheat.
Tainted Kane is, the best character in the entire game. There's, no debate. How Tainted Kane works is that his pocket active is called the Bag of Crafting. So, it's pretty obvious what it does.
Man, this fucking weapon sucks!
The thing about Tainted Kane is that he's unable to pick up items, them being turned into collectible pickups. But if you put the pickups in the Bag of Crafting, you can turn those into items. The rule of it is that higher quality pickups will give you higher quality items. But the thing is, you can really choose whatever items you want by messing around with the contents of your bag. So if you already have a completed item with good stuff, you can swap out certain resources to feel out which one you want. The average person will probably, fill their bag with a bunch of pretty good items and then swap pieces and bits here and there. But if you know what you're doing, you can have any item you want in the entire game. Tainted Kane at the highest level is basically cheating. Tainted Kane is so strong, you can get every single ending in the game with one run. Tainted Kane is really fun, but to act like he's not incredibly busted, I mean, yeah, it kind of makes sense. The character's unironically the developer console. Who'd be the stronger character? Tainted Kane or Blue Baby with a gun? And well, next up we have Tainted Judas. See, Tainted Judas can only hold demon hearts. And just like that, he's already better than Blue Baby. Tainted Judas has a actually really simple gimmick. He has a pocket active called Dark Arts. When he activates it, he becomes incredibly fast and invincible, which is great for traversing around the map and, getting into curse rooms for free. But let's say you come into contact with an enemy or bullet. By doing this, it tags the enemy, and when it ends, and giving you a damage buff for every enemy you've tagged. It also recharges on its own, so you can do it multiple times in one room. This is so much fucking fun. Because of his finite health, you have to master his gimmick. And god, they made it feel so fucking satisfying, alright? I've seen this move compared to Virgil, I've seen it compared to fucking MGR. This is a common pitfall most people go into when they're trying to describe something. It should be avoided at all costs. It shows a lack of understanding in the meat. This shit like no more heroes though! Judas is simple in concept, but has a very high skill ceiling. He's great in early game and amazing in end game. I gotta say, these Tainted characters are really fucking cool. Who do we have next?
Don't say that. It's not fucking funny.
Why do I gotta play this goddamn piece of shit? This character's actually quite good in my opinion. I like them a lot. To be fair, he does have a lot of flaws, but he has genuine upsides. There's reasons to play the character beyond I need the endings. His gimmick is based on not having bombs and instead having poop. Instead of bombs dropping, he will get poop nuggets and can spend them to use poop. It's on a conveyor belt system where you can see the first 6. You can also store one in your pocket with the jar, and you have about 11 different varieties you can use. You got regular poop, which does nothing, corn poop that generates flies for the room, flaming poop that's, well, on fire, stinky poop, which causes a gas cloud and will be ignited by any forms of fire, black poop that damages the whole room when it's destroyed, white poop, which gives you a buff for standing near it, which is pretty huge, stone poop that does more damage and is harder to break, bomb poop being, well, just regular bombs, fart leaving a gas cloud, pushing back enemies and poisoning them, explosive diarrhea leaving a trail of bombs behind you, and brown creep, which is probably the most important one. You get a buff for standing in it, or you can mix it with other poops to get a better effect. So he's like a combo character. You gotta know what recipes work together and how to use your resources. I will probably say that in general bombs are stronger, but the poops themselves allow for a lot of player expression. I would say he does need a few updates or changes to make him truly perfect, but overall, way better than Blue Baby.
What if I miss? Then I'll go back to being in your shadow.
Hey, listen to me, and this is coming straight from the heart, sincerely. You ain't as good as me. You never will be as good as me. You'll never be the ball player that I am.
And then you have Tainted Eve, a massive fan favorite for, well, pretty obvious reasons. Eve used to be a self-harm based glass cannon, but now it's expanded upon in the blood clot system. As Tainted Eve shoots, a bar will fill up and she will take damage, but she will receive a blood clot familiar. They don't do the same damage as you, but they keep your tear effect. But if you don't want to lose the health, you can just suck them back into your body. You can have about a max of 64 clots, which is very unlikely to happen because the game sort of dissuades you from having too big of an army. Because when clots live too long, they slowly drain health until they're at like 1 HP. You can easily manage this with a smaller army, but a larger army is far more volatile. So you should try to land somewhere in the middle. You know, if you're what's the word? A pussy. Yeah, I'll lose all my blood clots and die instantly. I don't go fuck. I mean, another thing about the character is that they still have Whore of Babylon, but when you enter the state, you will get a stronger version and have Mom's Knife. It does allow you to fire diagonally, but if you want to get even more value from it, you can activate it with only 1 blood clot, and then it's like you have 2 Mom's Knives. I think it's cool as like an Easter egg, because it's like, oh yeah, you still get the value of having 1 full red heart on Eve. But I mean, I prefer the blood clots over them, but I mean, nah, you're thinking of someone with 2 knives. I gotta tell you, this is pretty terrific. Another interesting thing about the clots is that depending on which heart you give them, they'll have different effects. I mean, I guess it does give me an excuse to talk about the 2 heart variants I couldn't. Black hearts deal more damage and fear. Eternal hearts have the Sacred Heart effect, so they home in on enemies and do a lot of damage. Gold hearts offer you an extra hit and also give you a bunch of money when you are hit. Or if you turn it into a blood clot, if it kills an enemy, it'll give you money for it. Bone heart clots will fire out bones that split on impact, and well, then you have the final heart variant, rotten hearts. How rotten hearts work is that they take up one full slot, but are worth about half a heart. Basically, for every 2 rotten hearts you have, that's equal to 1 full red heart. They aren't counted as red hearts, so if you lose them, you don't take any deal loss, and upon clearing a room, for each rotten heart you have, you'll gain 2 flies. It makes them great for temporary use, but also pretty good for general use as well. For everyone, except Tainted Eve. Because it can overwrite your regular blood clots, and they don't even have a special ability. They just sort of mooch off your health bar. Honestly, I love Tainted Eve. She's the only character that will get you hype as fuck over red hearts dropping. Well, moving forward from hearts, let's talk about the hardiest fellow. My boy Tainted Samson. Oh my fuck, what the fuck happened to you? Kill ya fucking barber. Did you get into a fight with a wood chipper? And lose? I get you cut your hair in the fucking story, but like, fucking hell. I'd fucking kill myself with a giant temple too if I had that cut. What were we talking about again? Oh, well, Tainted Samson works on a rage system. By dealing damage or taking damage, he'll progressively get more red, until he goes berserk. And then Samson transitions into a melee character, moving a lot faster and hitting a lot harder than Forgotten. But you only have it for 5 seconds. But the time extends every single time you kill an enemy. So it can turn one room clear into a couple to even the entire floor cleared in one berserk charge. And that's kind of just it. I mean, it's simple, but it's really fun. I mean, occasionally it can get you killed because you're going like Mach 5 into a group of enemies, but he's rather simple, but a lot of characters don't really offer the snowball effect that he has. But a more interesting character is Tainted Azazel. Tainted Azazel, unlike his normal counterpart, can't fly because, well, they fucked up his wings. But now instead of shooting a short-range brimstone, he fires a full-range brimstone that's very thin. It does do a considerable less amount of damage, unless you tap into Azazel's main gimmick, sneezing on people. By double tapping, you will sneeze and knock enemies back. The knockback does do damage if you slam them into things, but the most important part is it marks them. But now if you attack them with brimstone, it does a lot more damage, and in some situations, more damage than base Azazel. And if you kill the enemy, they explode. Explosion dealing damage and also marking more enemies. And if the enemy spawns other enemies while marked, they'll also be marked. So Tainted Azazel is a huge AoE character. I mean, you can also use the sneeze to like parry projectiles, but that's like too niche to actually use. I think like the worst bit of Tainted Azazel is only for me because like it's hard as fuck to get these niche situations because he kills people too good. But I mean, it just always feels amazing to do. It's just so satisfying. When you are cutting people and the knife starts gliding through them. And next you have probably the most unique character out of the bunch. The way that Tainted Lazarus works is it's 2 characters. And I feel they do this gimmick the best with Tainted Lazarus. The Forgotten has a 2-character gimmick, but that's like in large quotation marks, because it's more of a resource and an extension of the Forgotten himself. Jacob and Esau, while can be fun, are an annoying piece of shit because they are 2 characters. Tainted Lazarus feels like 2 characters, while not being 2 characters. When you come across most items, you'll see the item and a ghostly form of it. The only ones that can touch it are the alive or dead body, and you flip between them every single room. You can flip them manually using, well, you'll never guess what it's called. But what this does, most importantly, is that it distributes the items more forgivingly. And counting on their 2 different sets of items, it's like you're playing 2 runs at the same time. Also, a cute detail, you can see the reflection of your other self in the water, which I like a lot because it's like, you know, very in theme with the character. I mean, while we're on the topic of the downpour, kind of a neat Easter egg is that if you go into the mirror world and then destroy the mirror, you suffocate in there. I was probably never gonna have an excuse to talk about this, it's just like really cool. I must say, I love Tainted Lazarus in the base mode. but Tainted Lazarus in Greedier mode is a bottom 1 experience. Hannibal Lecter wasn't just like that. He played like fucking 2 seconds of Tainted Lazarus on Greed and he was like, fuck it, I'm gonna start eating people. Tainted Lazarus is a character that's really not designed for Greed mode, especially not Greedier mode. If Lilith is a character that thrives in the conditions of Greed mode, Tainted Lazarus in comparison's like fucking Prometheus. Tainted Lazarus's gimmick, you know, changing characters per room, means he changes every single wave start. And when he does change, something you don't notice in regular gameplay is that he can't shoot for 0.5 seconds. Which means you're gonna start off every single wave not being able to shoot new enemies. And with Greedier mode's less items and more enemies, it is a insane slog to get through.
Hey, yeah, that's really making an icy video. I gotta play fucking Tainted Lazarus in Greedier mode. This mode ain't fucking sight.
But moving forward from this, we have Tainted Eden. Tainted Eden's gimmick is, well, really simple. He starts the same as regular Eden, but if he ever takes damage, he will re-roll every single item he has. You can use this to your advantage. If your build sucks, you can intentionally harm yourself to get a better one. I do like him more than Eden himself, but that's not saying a lot because I think Eden is like okay. The big jump from okay to alright, that's what really changes. The toothpick changes everything. But I mean, I guess if you're looking for a character that's like constantly stimulating, this isn't a horrible option. And moving from a character I have almost nothing to say on is Tainted Lost, a character I have a lot to say on. I'll give you a small history lesson. The Lost originally was a far harder character. He lacked Holy Mantle, Spectral Tears, and even getting the character is an entire ordeal. He could take the entire Devil Room, but he kinda had to. The Lost was a fucking hellish character. And to a lot of people, it gave him a lot of charm. But as the expansions kept coming, the Lost became way stronger than beforehand. I mean, you compare like the base Lost and then the Lost now, it's kinda ridiculous.
Symbiote, Vibranium, Adamantium, Kryptonite, all of these are infusing the Omnitrix, which is supercharged by the Speed Force and enhanced by Blue Beetle Scarab. Everything's attached to the Infinity Gauntlet.
And with all this, he kinda lost all of his like super hard character charm. A lot of people did feel like this. And I mean, most importantly, I did. Yeah, proud elitist here. And I believe they saw this criticism and used it to build Tainted Lost. Tainted Lost is the hardest character in the game and also probably my third favorite out of all of them. For starters, they have a damage multiplier and better damage than regular Lost. But whenever Tainted Lost comes across an item, it can never be an item that would not benefit him. On hit items don't exist. Health up items don't exist. Self-damage items he can't get. Items that give flight or regeneration, gone. But it also gets rid of defensive items, a lot of items that give lives. And glowing hourglass because it could technically be turned into a defensive item. And also it kinda carried the shit out of me when I was getting the marks. With all this, Tainted Lost is basically guaranteed to get a god run every single time. But instead of having a Holy Mantle, they have Holy Cards. They act as one-time use hits, so it's no longer one hit and you're dead. You now have to prioritize trying to get as many Holy Cards as possible, so you can make more mistakes. I love this so much. Basically, it's the Lost, but I don't have the excuse I got bad items. He really does feel like the old version of the Lost. But he doesn't feel like shit. To quote a wise man, holy shit, 2 cakes. And moving forward from this, we have Tainted Lilith. Unlike her regular counterpart, she doesn't rely on familiars at all. So, what does she rely on? Ew, what the fuck? Tainted Lilith, instead of firing out tears, fires out their fetus. the fetus itself shooting its own tears, but I mean, you're playing Tainted Lilith. You're gonna use that shit like a weapon every single time. The character is pretty easy, all things considered, which is fine. It's a fun character and it adds a unique playstyle. Man, be a shame if they made the same character again, but just better. God fucking damn it. No, he doesn't deserve it. I don't like this character. Tainted Keeper is a character I hate design-wise. One of Tainted Keeper's main mechanics is that instead of having a triple shot, he has a quad shot. Every time you kill an enemy, they drop temporary coins. Shops are noticeably bigger with more stuff to spend money on, and usually of a higher quality. Item room items do cost money, but you make way more than enough. But he's limited to 2 hits, but, well, every time you kill an enemy, you're gonna get money, so you're practically invincible. And if I'm being honest, I find this character extremely fun. But the thing is, why the fuck would I ever play normal Keeper then? He does everything that regular Keeper does, but just infinitely better. After you unlock Tainted Keeper, you almost have no reason to play regular Keeper. He overshadows regular Keeper by a mile. And it also goes against the Tainted character's philosophy of their, gimmick being they're twisted in some way. See, the twist is, he's just Keeper 2. Keeper 2! After which, we have Tainted Apollyon. Tainted Apollyon works very similar to his normal counterpart, just like a tad cooler. Instead of turning bad items into stats, he turns bad items into locusts, which is a lot more fun. Oh, tears and luck up. Thank you, Edmund. Come outside. Some might have unique effects, some might scale off your damage differently, and it adds a nice layer of player choice to it. I mean, I gotta say, I really do love Tainted Apollyon. It's so much cooler. I mean, it makes me happy to see any item drop. And I mean, following up a character like that, you need to be seriously something.
Pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, to shine like
Tainted Forgotten is such a unique character. Now that the body is dead, the soul is now unchained, but is unable to attack now. So you must now fling the dead corpse of your former body at your enemies. I mean, the Forgotten was already dead, but this is like extra dead. Creatives talk about the second death all the time. I see what they mean. This motherfucker's badass. It feels like you're playing half of a character, especially because your body still has a lot of control. You can swing the club. When you place bombs, they'll be at the body and not the soul. It's not too bad, but keep that in mind before you fuck something up. The body allows you to get into curse rooms for free, and it more or less makes you the fastest character in the game. It's an idea you'd think be really weird to actually pull off, but it's done amazingly. Like, a good amount of like pretty mediocre items get turned into god tier items on this character. Kamikaze, being one of the most situational active items in the game, is incredible on Tainted Forgotten. Just like his regular counterpart, he changes how you play it so much in comparison to other characters. And after which, we have Tainted Bethany. Yeah, she's fucking broken. Firstly, her gimmick's flipped. Instead of not being able to hold soul hearts, she can't hold red hearts. Red hearts going into the charge of her pocket active, Lemejetad. It's a really weird word. I had to look up how to pronounce it, and so did everyone else. But every time you use the item, it gives you a passive item for nothing. The item is most of the time random, but depending on what kind of room you're in, you can sort of influence it a bit. So, you combine the most common room clear reward with the ability to generate items from almost any pool, and also passively generating items by just playing the video game? I mean, yes, there is a limit. It's not infinite. Well, fuck it, the game ain't infinite. Just win, bro. Don't you have a human heart? No limit, you don't. You want to play a not fun drinking game? Take a shot every time I make a JJK reference. You'll end up in the hospital, I guarantee. Like Eugene's grandpa, oh my god! I fucking suck at making videos. Also, the red heart gimmick goes into a regular active as well, so that's huge. And then we have the final character, Tainted Jacob. You might be wondering, Tainted Jacob? But there's no character called Jacob. Oh, I get it. It's like Jacob and Esau. But there's no Esau. What a twist, what a twist. Edmund McMillan, you genius. With his pocket active, he can bind people. Ooh. It's like when you hold control and you bind people, Jacob and Esau. That's so cute. That's so... What the? Esau has now become a vengeful spirit. He's gonna be trying to kill you the entire floor. Only stopping till you make the next, and that's only so soon before he comes back. If he ever does hit you, he will turn you into the Lost with no holy mantle. And if he hits you again, you die. The only things you can really do to him is restrain him with your pocket active. So you might be thinking, oh god, this is fucking horrible. I already have enough fucking problems in this game and now I have like a demon chasing me. But the most important strength of Jacob is Esau. If he comes into contact with enemies, especially when he's dashing, he will eviscerate them. This also heavily applies to bosses, doing massive damage to the early game and can absolutely decimate bosses in early game and even end game. And you can control each time he dashes using a Mina Sola, because if you deactivate it, he charges to you. So the strongest way to play Tainted Jacob is rage bait. Gimme. 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 You fucking stupid. Give me the fucking... You think I won't kill the shit out of you? You think I won't kill it? Give me your fucking soul so I can kill you, little dumbass. And him turning you into the Lost isn't even that much of a downside, counting on, well, the Lost himself has upsides. So it's a character that's very challenging and very different, but has such a unique feeling and game plan. Esau is your biggest problem and your greatest solution. Wow, it's like Esau is your greatest strength and weakness, just like Jacob and Esau. Oh my fuck! And, well, that's every character and every ending in The Binding of Isaac. It's finally over, thank fucking God. I can go back to not uploading. Let's fucking go. Hell yeah. Well, I mean, there are a few other things I need to touch on. Firstly, let's talk about challenges. The challenges vary greatly and have a lot of fun gimmicks. Well, except for two. And honestly, I think I could have probably glossed over these if I didn't hate these two challenges so fucking much. The speed challenge is incredibly fast and very, very fucking annoying, counting on a lot of the game was designed around not going at this speed, so it ruins all the muscle memory you've built up to this point. And also, you have to get to Mom's heart within a time limit. Well, I mean, you've already been on a time limit to get to Mom's heart, so what is it, like 25 minutes, 20, 16? You have 16 minutes to do it. This is not only tight, it's fucking razor tight. It's a really out of place challenge because like the one before it is just like, whoa, what if the floor was like really big? And then right after you have the speed challenge and it's fucking... Yes, I was able to beat it on my second try, but the thing is, I'm fucking LeBron, and look at my goddamn items. A fucking blind man could have won with these items. And then you have Ultra Hard. Fuck this challenge. The scary part about this challenge is that, well, just fucking everything is just cranked up to the max. You have every single curse in the game. You have to fight against every enemy, most likely being a champion. And hearts just don't drop. And you gotta fight one of the hardest bosses in the game, going through the harder route, and like, what the fuck is this shit? When I get fucking overjoyed when Leech drops, that means this challenge is fucked. The only realistic way you can even do this fucking challenge is by holding R and then praying the first room has an item, and that item is actually good. There's a reason why curses don't stack, because most of the time, they're not designed with the other in mind. Getting a layout of the map is nearly fucking impossible when you can't see it, it's large as shit, and you're constantly being teleported. To be frank, it is meant to be like this. It's not like this speed challenge where it's like by circumstance, it's fucking bullshit.
Who on the team thought Ultra Hard Challenge was fun?
I never said it was fun. Quote, Edmund McMillan. Look, I don't hate this challenge. Enough. It's a piece of shit. I fucking despise this dumbass. Well, to be frank, they only make up 2% of the challenges. The other 98%, I love all of them. They're just so good. And the next thing I need to briefly touch on is co-op. Yes, Isaac has full multiplayer. I'm very mixed on it. One of the big things about Isaac is how crazy your builds can get. But in co-op, you have less resources. Yes, you do get 2 boss rewards, but you only know one of them. If you take the first one and you could probably use the second one, well, either you fuck over your partner or you fuck over yourself. The item room only has 1 item, but it's, you know, shown to you so you can debate a bit here and there. But if you act civilized, there's scenarios where you have a really fun build and your friend is running nothing but stats up. The netcode also kind of sucks dick, but that's life. Just don't have international friends, that's it. Some characters actively fuck over your teammate because, well, they weren't designed for you to have any friends. But even with all of this, co-op is still really, really fun.
Oh, fuck yeah! You fucking bitch! You fuck!
It does have room to change because it's still in beta, but we have not gotten any updates on when it's gonna leave beta. Alright, here's the Meta Late What If Co-op Was Really Good version. Have 2 items for item rooms, show both options in the boss room, and if you want to fight over it, have a little rock, paper, scissors mechanic, and whoever wins gets the item. Have a small multiplier based on enemy HP, so they'll be stronger the more players that are alive, but then when everyone else dies, it goes back down to normal. Will any of these suggestions really happen?
Yeah. Like that's ever gonna happen.
I would also love to highlight the modding community for Isaac, which is fucking insane, and they create a lot of great shit. I'm gonna speed run through like a handful of mods. Becky is a really fun mod and adds a really cool tear effect. Felix is a hard as fuck character, very weak, but god damn it, I do love the whole gimmick with him. He's a lot of fun. 2020 but cooler. Obviously I love this shit. Car. Evangelion ending over Delirium, which is really fucking funny. I love this. Damocles as a regular character, and especially Tainted Damocles. I love that character so much. Fiendfolio is a beautiful expansion. I could honestly maybe make my own video on it. I fucking love Fiendfolio so much. I can't talk about it. I gotta wrap this shit up. Range fix for Bones and Swords should be base game. I don't know why it's a mod. Chatty Keepers makes Keepers talk, and it's a lot of fun. Makes every run feel a bit more alive. Beavis and Butthead do the basement. My thanks goes out to all the mod creators that work so hard to keep this game alive. I love you so much. Never stop being creative and making cool shit. Anyways, Venom Snake is Kane. Something I should briefly touch on, this filter option, why does it exist? It's really fucking gross. No. Eugenics, which to me is like a spiritual successor to Isaac. It's incredibly deep, allows for so much build variety. I love it a lot, and I can't wait to play more of it after this video.
So when's the eugenics video?
And with all that out of the way, let me conclude this long ass video. Isaac is a game I love. It is a game I adore. It is a game I have sunk hours upon hours into. There's no other game that gives me the same high that Isaac does. Even though this is my longest video yet, I've still barely scratched the surface of my love for Isaac. Isaac is a game that, even years after, still captures that level of wonder I had when I first played it. It is a game that, after years of playing it, I can still ask myself, what will this do? My jaws are so deep into Isaac, I'm tasting the goddamn bone marrow. It is a game I wanted to do justice for so goddamn long. It's almost hard to put into words how much I adore Isaac. I'm going on and on about how much I love this game when I can really just sum it up like this.
Isaac, we love you.
But hey, don't just take it from me, take it from them.
Hello there, this is Maths44 here to tell you why I love Isaac. My initial interest, about 10 years ago, stemmed from the synergies. Brimstone is cool, Mum's knife is cool, but if you get both at the same time, you get brimstone knives? That sense of discovery was a big motivating factor in playing more Isaac runs, to find new items and new combinations of items which synergize together to make something completely new. These days, what drives me is pushing Isaac to its limits. It's not just about finding a strong synergy anymore, it's about completely breaking the game to its core and wielding a kind of power you could have never imagined when you first start playing.
Why do I love the Binding of Isaac? Bro, Binding of Isaac is the best game I have ever bought. Because not only will I have one Dead God file. It took me 800 hours to get that one Dead God file. And I'm currently working on my second, and then I need to work on my third. I have at least 1,200 hours left before I do like every single unlock 3 times. And then still, I can continue to play this game because there's just a fuck ton of mods, like insane amount of mods that add new content to the game. It's so easy to make your own mods. I even have an own mod, the Polterstuff mod on the Steam Workshop, bro. I don't know, it's just, it also feels like kind of gambling without actually, you can't lose anything. Like when I go into treasure rooms, I'm like, oh my god, good item, you know? Terror! I don't know. It's the greatest game of all time. Nothing can compare. Nothing will ever compare. And I'm not glazing. It's just the truth.
My name is Lonslow. I am an avid, chronic actually, Binding of Isaac player. I mainly make content on the Binding of Isaac's workshop, and yeah, I've stuck with the game for almost 3,000 hours. And there are 2 main reasons for this. The first one is the variety of content. It's one of those games that get better the more you learn about it, and I feel like even while I'm recording videos, I'm constantly learning new things just because this game has so much to offer. And I know life this game compared to other people. You could probably play The Binding of Isaac until you died, and there is still an interaction you would have not seen. Like, some games lack the variety of content to actually make seeded runs feel truly unique, but this game doesn't have that problem. In fact, you can play the same seed with different characters, and it'll feel like an entirely new experience. The second and honestly third reason that this game is so good is the community and the workshop. Because while updates have been few and far between for Isaac, the community has kept this game running for years. They figured out co-op before co-op was even a thing. And it's probably not a stretch to say that Isaac would not be nearly as popular as it is now if it weren't for the workshop. I know I probably would have moved on if it weren't for the community. But nope, I've stayed. Game good. Play it. Play it if you haven't already.
The amount of love that I have for The Binding of Isaac is honestly not measurable. I have played this game for over 10 years now, and it's still my favorite game. I was playing this game when I was 12, and I was eating dirt from the ground, and it was my favorite game. And I was playing this game when I was 16. I got my first girlfriend, and I was in high school, and it was still my favorite game. When I was 20 years old and I was traveling Vietnam, I had to go to internet cafes multiple times just to boot up The Binding of Isaac because I just missed it so much. It was still my favorite game. And now I'm 23 years old, I work a full-time job, I've moved out of my parents' house, and it's still my favorite game. The amount of replayability that this game has is like no other game that I've ever played. There's so many layers with different play styles and different preferences and different synergies, and they all make this game so complete, and I truly believe that this game will be my favorite game even when I leave this earth, man. I feel like I've also learned so much from this game. Like, let's talk about something completely different. Like, I'm not even English like that, I'm Swedish. English is my second language, right? And I've learned so many like medical terms and so many like biblical terms from The Binding of Isaac. I feel like I'm a doctor, bro. Like hypercoagulation. Like, I would have never learned that word if it wasn't for this game. So shout out to Isaac, man. Basically gave me a PhD in diseases, bro. No, but I love this game, man. Thank you guys. Bye bye.
I haven't played Isaac yet. However, I have played Risk of Rain 2. And oh my god, it's peak gaming. Berserk is so fun to play. Loader is so bad. Just make Isaac look like a bitch. Please. I can't glaze Isaac because Risk of Rain 2 is just so much better. Oh my god, guys, you need to play it.
Worst part about this, motherfucker's using the wrong R special. What the hell? Immense special thanks to everyone who agreed to collab for this little section. I had a lot of fun getting these people. They're pretty cool dudes. Go subscribe to them. They're great. I would like to thank you all for watching this video. It's been a lot of work going into this. I would also like to give a larger shout out to my Patreon members, Azazel, Soot, NewTube, and Mrs. MM. And here is where I'll see you out.
Isaac and his mother lived alone in a shit house. Up your ass. Isaac kept to himself, drawing animes and playing with his bitch as his mom watched porn and gets naked on the television. Life was fucking shit, and they were both up your ass.